Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our May 12th Parks and Rec Board meeting. Let's get started and we'll do the pledge and then jump into the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Who would like to take notes?
Okay.
All right, thank you. So tonight we have Lydia, Ryan, Tom, Dennis in person, Cheyenne and Jim remote, and Jamie is not here. Great. There's no members of the public, so we can skip public comment and move on to reviewing and approving minutes from the March 10th meeting, which I had sent out yesterday. Does anyone have any additions to the meeting minutes? If not, can I get can we get a motion to approve? All right.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So it's unanimous. The minutes are approved from the March 10th meeting. So on to the May 15th movie night. Very excited to be able to do our second annual spring movie night. So it will be at Sabine Park. And Jeff, did you have the extra cardboard boxes that I can pick up on Friday? Okay, great. And what's a good time? Lunchtime?
The office is closed for lunch from 12 to 1, so you could either before or after that.
Okay, so I'll pick up before noon because that's when I'm going to go. I'm going to get the generator about the same time, so I'll stop by here first. Okay, pick up by noon. And that small gas container was the perfect amount to refill it since they give it to us with gas. And do you want me to get that at that time? Because
I'll bring that up with me.
oh, you want to come? You're going to come over?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to. I feel bad making. You want to?
I'd like to see account folk having fun.
All right. Great. Well, it'll be nice to see you there. And the vendor is going to arrive since the movie starts at 7:30. Do you want to give them my contact info or did they tell you what time they're going to show up?
They typically call in the morning between 10 to 12 just to confirm, just based on
The weather.
Yeah. So at that point, I'll give, the contact for that day. I'll just pass your cell phone to them.
All right, thanks. And so we've got garbage taken care of. We'll just throw them in the dumpster at the end and porta potties.
There's 4 in the parking lot, so once we get them cleaned, there are 4 from the run, from the birthday, from events that we've had.
Oh, great.
So we're going to get them cleaned and then we'll bring up 2 of them
And can we put them by the front entrance?
on Lowe's or the Sabine, like the
Yes.
physical Sabine.
So where people actually go into the playground.
Okay, yep.
Because last year they put it in the back corner, so people had to go behind the screen
Okay.
to go to the bathroom. Not that anyone walked into the screen, but it just
Stranger things have happened.
so we want to avoid people having to go back there. Okay.
Sorry, with the porta potties, I know for number thing, there was some missing toilet paper, so just to remember.
They should what it called, but yes.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, we'll add to the announcement, bring your own TP.
Yeah. Hand sanitizer.
I didn't think that people would steal rolls of TP from porta
Porta
potty.
potty.
All right.
Again, we've had a porta potty stolen from State Farm, so.
Jeez.
I have to.
That's right.
People these days.
Oh, wow.
Probably some Delaware County attendees.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So Is there anything potentially missing from the movie night prep? Okay, who's going to be able to attend? You'll be there with the kids? How old are your kids?
5 and 3, so we probably won't make it the whole time, but
Okay.
we'll be there.
We're in Pittsburgh for a birthday party. Our daughter turns 21, so.
Well, you're adult children, I wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
you coming. Cheyenne, are you coming with the kids?
No, I actually already had tickets to Chicago in the city that night, so I'm going with some friends. But I'm gonna try to send my husband and my kids.
Okay.
I had an update related to, I had reached out to the Marion Liberty Troop
Mhm.
about potentially using the movie nights for a popcorn fundraiser.
And
And they were interested potentially in the idea. They had a question, not for May because it was just too short for them to get something like that off the ground, but potentially for the fall and future events.
mhm,
They wanted to get an estimate of how many people we think are going to be attending, like if there's good weather.
okay,
So I was trying to think, like, do we have an estimate from the last couple of events that we could give them? Do we want to wait till after this one to get an updated estimate?
we do, and I don't remember off the top of my head, we had numbers. And
Okay.
So-
I can just email you and Jean about that to
yeah,
see.
do that. And I know I have it written down somewhere. Actually, yes, in my communication with the food truck vendors who we did not get any to commit to this event, but I provided numbers based on the 2 prior ones. So yeah, I'll introduce me via email and then I'll send them the numbers.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Great. So we can move on from the movie night prep. Park programming activities with Ryan O'Donnell has some park programming activities he wanted to review with the board. So
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was just thinking about, how basically it's a wide open space at the moment, and
Mhm.
we're trying to raise awareness of the area and plans for development. So I was thinking, of 2 activities that align with that, and most of my stuff is aimed at the pre-adolescent, adolescent perspective. So this is to share. So one thing I was thinking of is quadrat sampling. So this is a field ecology technique to study plants and animals that don't move around a lot. Instead of studying the whole entire area, you focus it to small, random 1 square meter areas. And I was thinking we could have the kids build quadrat grids and have them go out in the field, pick a location, set it down, and basically just observe what's in that quadrat, and they could sketch out what they see. They could start digging around, see what kind of wildlife is beneath the surface, and just trying to give them a more close-up perspective of what's happening in that area, before the park gets developed. And I was thinking about field ecology and biodiversity, and I think there's a lot of extensions you can make from a hands-on project like this. So and it's the materials, and it's less than $5 in materials. So I think that might be a viable thing to expand, develop.
For Elm Grove.
Yeah, or really, I think the parks.
Yeah.
All right, so that's one. That's more like the ecology perspective. Another thing I was thinking, every day get woken up by songbirds, which is great. There's tons of birds, different species in this borough. And I was thinking of at Lowe's, they sell cedar fence pickets for like $4. It's 6 feet long, and with a simple pull saw and a ruler, you can make this a really simple birdhouse that people can take home, install it in their yard. I mean, as long as it's not in a exposed location, it's certain to get a nest built there. either this season or next, so. And again, I think this activity could be expanded on, we could talk about, you know, the type of species that might colonize this house and why, you know, why they might want to live there, and why other ones couldn't or won't, how this protects them from predators and weather, and. You know, I've never built a birdhouse before, but I did this in 20 minutes with my 3-year-old, you know, just using simple hand tools and,
So you use a saw.
yeah,
obviously,
simple pole saw
pole
and
saw and.
finish
and
nails.
Small nails, yeah, okay, and that's it? And then the hole you made with,
Oh, yeah, so I did use a power drill with
you
it.
used drill, but
Yeah,
that a bit.
but again, like I could,
One
you know,
inch, like a 1 inch?
yeah, 1.5,
One and a half. Okay,
So-
so that's the only power tool that would be required.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, I can find, you know, an old drill, like, it's, you know, it's not even, maybe a half inch diameter, so it's pretty soft with it, so.
Would the idea be for you to pre-cut them or have?
Well, that's an option.
On site,
That would definitely make it easier and faster, I think, because I don't know who's gonna show up and start throwing saws.
because you could have people register.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, through the RSVP, you get the supplies ahead of time, but,
Do you have a miter saw to cut through those faster than a pole saw at home?
oh, yeah, I could.
You've got power tools, okay, so
Yeah,
it'll be quick for you.
Yeah. but, yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot of extensions and it's a, you know, at the end, the people get a functional, you know, thing that they can take home and think about, you know, all the different bird species in the borough and the ones that are living in, you know, so. That's the two I've come, I don't know what's possible, I don't know what everybody else has in mind and what's feasible, so I would love, you know, feedback.
Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, sure.
There is no set programming for Elm Grove. It's been a fluid conversation for the past year. Now that it is presentable and, you know, and it looks great and it's welcoming, and we want to highlight it. So whatever you know, if this is a viable program, you know, what about how do we pay for the materials? Do we get a local business or businesses to sponsor this event? Because you're talking the small investment of the wood and the nails, and they could get some good advertising for the event. And that's one thought. What about the materials for what is that called? This
Quadrat, yeah.
so you would have to go buy the PVC for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Or, I'm sorry, that PVC would have to be purchased.
Yeah,
So, Lydia?
Yeah, I really like the ideas, I think it was good to discover the biodiversity in your neighborhood, so. Good, I guess my question is budgeting, so like, what does that look like? I don't know what our budget.
Well, so we, at this time, we could request money,
Okay,
but our budget has been approved based on, you know, what we submitted last fall,
okay, right,
which covers
Mm.
the fees.
okay,
So that's why I had thought, since it isn't a big expense, maybe a local business would want to pay for the materials and then they could, you know, brought to you by character development just comes off
yeah,
my tongue because it's a toy store, but it could be anybody that you could reach out to get money from. Yeah, Jim.
Hey, Dennis, the other point is, as to his original point, is he's not sure how many people will come. And especially if the quads aren't very expensive. Listen, you know, I don't think charging a nominal, hey, listen, this is just a $5 fee to cover our charge. And if someone can't pay, obviously, we would never charge them. But this way, there's a little bit of investment. So, because you don't want them to go to their trouble and say, oh, yeah, we're all going to come. Oh, no, we're not going to come now. This way, I mean, I'm not that $5 will break somebody or there, but just to cover as far as, not on the birdhouse, I think your idea of a sponsorship is good. But for the other one, I mean, if you have 20 people and and I don't want to speak on the quad, but if 20 people put up $5, I mean, would that cover most of the cost if they're going to come?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just a little investment and a little commitment, from them to say, hey, listen, hey, it's part of the community. And listen, I'm sure there's people in the community knowing out there that would be very, very happy to go ahead and, contribute that money anyway. But as you said, even a local business would, hey, listen, we're sponsoring this. But more importantly, I think if you have people put a little money up, there might be you want them to be not only invested, but also to make sure they come at least the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point. So it charges a nominal fee. Because
And
how
just
much,
say,
yeah, how much was what did you say? It was a 6 or 8 foot piece?
So it's a 6-foot cedar picket, it's like 350.
350. Plus, then you'd have to buy a box of nails.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I purposely thought, look for activities that were, negligible costs.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
to Jim's point, $5 for a birdhouse making class, and then they pay and they've registered, so we know who's attending, and that's a great idea. Versus we get a sponsor and we don't get a good turnout, then the
Yeah.
sponsor will be disappointed. But this way, like Jim said, they're invested if they pay, and if they don't show up, then it's just like a donation. So we would have to check with borough staff on how to collect the money for it. So that's one thing, is how to collect the money and registration. Is that something that they can build on their site? Does the site have the capability to add a registration tool and e-commerce for public events like this?
You mentioned potentially, and I like both ideas with the birdhouse, you can have some discussions. Or is someone in position to either lead discussions for either of the projects, or would we want to identify, or do you have background, or?
Yeah, I'm in biology.
Why would you say, yeah, okay, so, yeah.
And a friend who's an ecologist would be happy to,
Oh, great, yeah.
Oh, fun, yeah.
and I'm a biologist, but I do more mammal than.
So I'll reach out to the borough staff and copy you.
Yeah.
With the question, so that then they can go with it, coordinate with them if it's something they can support. And timing wise, so would you want to do it when school's out?
Yes.
Obviously, when does school end for you?
Lower Marion's last day is
Wednesday the,
26.
no, it's Wednesday the 18th.
Oh, the 18th.
yeah.
I know because I had to look at the calendar yesterday for a kid's activity, so
Yeah, it's sorry, I don't want to.
I didn't know what school district you're in, or are you in Lower Merion?
Yeah.
Okay, so you teach in Lower Merion, great. Then,
Oh, no, I'm not teaching right now.
oh,
My kids are in Lower Maryon.
I was asking for your
No.
schedule.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm on unpaid sabbatical.
okay. So it would come down to what works best for you.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, I would want to do it when school is out. Just-
Before, like the first week is when most kids don't have camp. That
Yes.
limbo week
Right.
would be ideal. Like school ends Wednesday. You could do it Thursday or Friday,
Yeah.
because we're all looking for something to keep our kids busy for that Thursday and Friday. That would be ideal Friday. And Thursday they want to sleep in.
Just so you
I'm
know,
sorry, I'm talking, my kids.
Friday is Juneteenth, so some parents.
19th, yeah,
have
true,
off, and
yeah.
it's just-
Oh, that might work well, because parents will be off so they can take the kids.
Well, I'll be in Boston.
You'll be in Boston. Okay. The following week?
Yeah, we will get on.
Okay. Well then, I defer to you what works best for you, and And obviously, the unknown variable will be how the borough can support it.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that they can set up registration and payment that fast, yeah.
Yeah, it just comes down to promotion and for
It's-
through the borough newsletter, as well as
Yeah.
the social media, or like the Norwood Community Network Facebook group.
Yeah, so June 26, 27, 20, it has to be a weekend, I mean, otherwise, a week is fine.
All right. What? Yeah, again, I'll defer to you to coordinate that if the borough can support it and it's a realistic timeline.
So my oldest is in kindergarten, so, I would imagine the kids that show up would be a little bit older, what day would be good for like second, third, fourth graders in the summertime?
Well,
What day?
Yeah, does it matter?
I would say a lot of the camps end at like 3 o'clock. So if you wanted to do something kind of closer to the end of the day, do that any day of the week, or I would do it on Saturday morning.
I have to say, do you really think the parents are gonna wanna go with the kid in camp and then go to another activity?
Yeah, it
Mm.
depends on the parent,
Yeah. Maybe Saturday.
or a Sunday morning.
yeah, Saturday or Sunday, Sunday morning. Sunday is generally less programming in sports, so that would be nice to walk to the park on
June 28th.
June 20. Are you away the 21st? You're in Boston, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, let's work towards the 28th. And then what would you need in the space for that day? Would you need tables to work on? Et cetera.
I don't think. Pretty rustic.
Mhm.
They can sit on the ground and-
Give them a hand on the stump or something.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, less.
And then- Would you need a portable garbage pail that you could pick up from Jab? Because there's not gonna be waste if everything's pre-cut.
Yeah, I mean, I can handle that.
Okay. All right. Good, so you wouldn't, Jeff's crew would not have to like do anything.
No, yeah, it's totally self-contained, but
Awesome.
the chainsaw anymore.
No, pick up some loppers from Jeff and say, now we're gonna learn how. They can do some work.
Got some boards up a tree.
Um, Okay. So any other thoughts from the rest of the board on the programming? What do you think of this idea for the week? Once school's over. Cheyenne, is that something your kids would be interested in? I know if I'm not away, I'm gonna take my kids.
Yeah, Ellis will be away, but I think Kent and Susan would be interested in.
Cool. All right, great. Moving on to the next item, which Jim brought to my attention, and it's something I haven't noticed in the skate park, but I have noticed so many more electric bikes in Narber. So skate park, revisit what can be used in the park as electric bikes and other non-skateboard vehicles and toys have been reported and observed. So the
Hey, Dennis, I can elaborate a wee bit because I'm obviously down there with the baseball teams all the time. So I see it all the time. And like last week was the first time we saw adult kids, older kids riding big bikes, using them as ramps and like almost killing like little kids on little what is called scooter things. But the problem is the skate park has now become a bike park. not only for the electric bikes, but even like other bikes in there. And so some of the skaters say, "Hey, listen, I'm trying to skate, and I got Mary trying to ride her two-wheeler up the ramp here." But the other part really for me was the electric bike, because I mean these kids, I had to chase them off the fields because they were riding the electric bikes on there. But even like yesterday, there was a little kid riding one of the small. They look almost like dirt bikes, but they're electric bikes. And he had the dark helmet, and he's going up and down the ramps and there. And it's like it's like I listen. I know that's not the purpose of this park. So
Yeah, I agree. And no motorized vehicles should be, that's something that should be,
I also question the use of bicycles in there, especially older kids in there, thinking it's the BMX course.
yeah, that is, it seems like a gray area because some BMX bikes are made for, tricks in parks, but like, you're not going to ride your 10 speed in there because, 'cause that's not a trick bike. It can't do tricks, or your mountain bike. But what, well, let's open it up.
What are the rules now?
Has there been anything explicitly prohibited in the park?
The rules now is skateboards
Yeah.
and inline skates only.
So it's
Technically scooters aren't even
Correct.
permitted in there.
like even the old Razors, the scooter with the handlebar, right? Okay.
Yeah, we've always kind of turned a blind eye to, the youngsters in there trying to ride their bike, of course. E-scooters, anything with
motorized
is
for sure.
is not allowed in there.
Yeah.
So it's on the signage, but there's no,
Unless someone calls,
Right. Enforcement.
the cops aren't gonna go in there
Mhm.
and enforce it. Now, for what it's worth, we did meet, myself and Maggie, we met with, Harry Quaint, the original pioneer for this park who lives on the south side, about kind of moving some equipment over so the youngsters and who's ever trying to just ride and learn can have a safe spot away from the ramps.
Mhm.
So once my crew, is able to catch their breath a bit from the 3 months of snow that we dealt with, that will be next to kind of shift some equipment around to try to just eliminate the potential for, those, like on skateboards or the scooter, that's,
And the span, I'm not as familiar with the spacing, but you think there's room for that, no problem.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Then how do we address motorized vehicles?
Is it even a sign that
Well,
is the converse that says what's allowed, but then and specifically and absolutely no
because
motorized?
no one's reading that.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, is there any liability? Is this getting into liability conversations?
I think it's just more ideally the older skaters would be like, dude, you can't be in here with that.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna run them over too,
Mhm.
not just little kids. So it's just not safe.
But I think to Jim's point, right? I mean, if they're there and Jeff, then it's the policing and it's,
Yeah. And then that's the bar, go and spend money for bigger signs, no motorized bikes.
Yeah.
And will that be effective?
Or you put a sign up and say, "Hey, listen, you motorized vehicles subject to a fine of $150 or something."
Oh, that's a good idea, Jim. Yeah, if we make it a fine, because it is really a public safety issue.
And even if there's if you just make the sign and there's no real way to enforce the fine, but that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's there if
So it's a thought.
if someone decides to enforce it, if there's a problem, then they can fall back on that. If the police, somebody gets hurt, that worst case scenario. Okay. So that's something I'll propose to borough staff is no motorized vehicles. Oh, that's fine. Thanks, Jim. All right. So is there anything else that someone wants to bring up regarding the skate park? Okay. And moving on to the next item. So our next movie night in the fall, September 19th, we'll be here before we know it because we'll have one less meeting over the summer. So I just wanted to get everyone's thoughts on, how they envision that. If they want to, Cheyenne shared that the Cub Pack, the Lower Marion Cub Pack would be interested in using it as a fundraising opportunity, which would be great. But do we want to try again or to have any food truck vendors come? Obviously, you're limited. It wouldn't be many because you don't have a parking lot like at Sabine. But or any other ideas for bringing in people that could offer food or something that would go well with a movie night, because the format will be for those who didn't attend the one in April of last year. It was set up where the screen was facing, like the screen was backed up against the side of the skate park, and then so you had the right, Jeff, and then everyone was out.
Yeah, it was.
So you had everyone, as much field as possible for people to sit in.
Yeah, the screen itself was kind of tucked right at the scoreboard room. And then I think he angled it towards, like the playground.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So it'll be the same setup and, yeah, so I just wanted to open it up for any thoughts on format.
And we did not do any kind of food truck or food option for the first
No.
time, right? And it was a different season, right? It was spring.
Right, so the April one last year was planned very quickly. And it was the fall one that we tried to get food truck vendors. And we weren't able to, no one would commit. And of course, no one committed to Fridays either. Anyway, yeah, so it's a blank canvas as far as anything else we'd like to do in conjunction with the movie night on the 19th. Again, it's Back to the Future.
Yeah.
No, we can't get Michael J. Fox to come. So that's out.
We used to live in Manhattan. A lot of restaurants near Broadway would have pre-theater dinner specials or like menus. We could get a restaurant on or Harvard Avenue to like advertise some kind of pre-theater or pre-movie
Like pick up,
dinner
take
special or
it,
something.
or eat in or take out. Or,
Yeah, right. Like the Greek site.
That's it.
I mean, Maluga now is up and running, and
Have you been there?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I like the Middle
Do
Eastern.
they offer takeout?
They do, but honestly, it's been it's been the early couple months, I would say, has been a challenge of sometimes that I cut it off because they're so busy in the restaurant.
Mhm.
They're like, yeah, we're not taking takeout anymore. But if it's, ahead of time, but just also saying, I noticed they tend to do a lot of posting and looking to get more involved in the community. So it seems to be, as an option. Now, it's maybe not the most portable of food options as a pizza from Real Pizza or, burgers from the Greeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, with Drew with the Greeks, for like a, movie dinner night, get one of like their burger specials, you know, or what have you.
Yeah.
If there's enough prep time and, you know, they know about it, maybe
Yeah, that's a great idea.
just give them some business too, clearly, as opposed to food truck.
But they might even want to bring like, for the birthday, get cafe or kind of stand. And like,
They did?
yeah.
What did they offer?
It was mostly like drinks and like snacks, so like pastries and things like that. But yeah, that's an idea, or just, you know, maybe real pizza ones, so you know,
Mhm.
Random, have we all ever, it's really not a food truck, but you know, formerly John McShay, you know, from McShay's, you know, he's still running his catering out of it with his brother's restaurant. You know, it's not a food truck, but like, you know, we've used him for parties, you know, like setting up a tray, so, you know, tacos and whatever. I don't know if they would almost do like a mini catering, you know, like, hey, we'll make burgers and chicken fingers and have them for sale. You know, I don't know, but John's always been one that, you know, has been good with the borough and his long history.
I'll reach out to John Boucher to see if that's something that they'd be interested in doing. And
You know, it'd almost be like setting up like no different than any of
yeah.
the two, you know, summer music festivals where, you know, you can tent, you got a table,
Mhm.
you know.
Actually, I'll just email all the business,
yeah,
all of them at the same time,
Yeah.
just to say we're doing the movie night and
And then introduction
you
of
guys have any
food then is introduction of more trash and that kind of stuff. So as the time comes, we did it, yeah.
great. So I'll email all the restaurants together, just put it out there to see if they're really partnering and doing a movie night special for either just eat in or take out. And that's just on them to promote and just keep it simple.
Mhm.
So anything else? Again, Cheyenne will introduce me to someone from the Cub Pack so I can give them numbers for the last two movie nights and then including I'll reach out to them after Fridays and with a count for the past three. Anything else on people's mind for the September movie night?
If we do go the path of reaching out to food trucks, I will say this section is the easiest road in the borough to close.
Oh, really?
So if we don't do a road closure permit, you know,
right here.
it's free. It's right, we just put up a barricade here,
Okay.
a parking truck,
Yeah.
yes, beyond the parking lot, so folks can't get through. So, just so food for thought, you know.
No pun intended or pun intended?
It's.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Open it up to, you know, potentially having, you know, kind of a circle of food trucks out there or allowing, you know, the places uptown to come down and set up tables and some sort.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go the route of reaching out to the local restaurants first. So that give them the first opportunity. Okay, that's good to know. And obviously there's no generator required because we have power there. And the bathrooms will be open, so we don't need porta potties. And that's it. Great. Okay. And let's see. So Elm Grove planning update, well, that tied in with Brian's. This idea was specific to Elm Grove. So we'll see if Jamie has any updates next month.
Is there any water access in Elm Grove? Is there any?
Just the creek.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no river, anything.
Do you have a camping water purifier?
No, I was just thinking of, you know, like, plans to get a water department over there, but there's no water, like, it's never, be possible.
Bare Bones Park,
Mhm.
nothing there but nature.
Well, I mean, the flower bed that we planted there,
Mhm.
they just co-ordered, they just got in touch with us to go over there once or twice a week. And keep it wet,
Mhm.
because that bed looks phenomenal down there.
Has anyone driven by or walked by and seen people just hanging in the park in this nice weather that we're having? The grass is so nice.
With the
and inviting.
construction, each time I'm by it, I think the construction just kind of disrupts a little bit,
Yeah,
you know, or I'm trying not to look too much because I say disrupt. I'm trying not, I'm trying to
Well, it
stay
seems like-
in the shoots just to make sure, but.
every time a road is paved in Lower Marion,
Here they come.
they dig it up right after. Like, they finished Montgomery by Jaime's,
Yeah.
and then they dug it up from Mary Mercy to Jaime's.
Yeah.
They repaved that street, and now they're digging it up.
Yeah.
And then they dug up along, you know. It's just crazy. So
Yeah.
how long will that be going on?
So that got held up because there was a collapsed storm pipe
Oh, okay.
on Wynwood, which is a PennDOT route.
Yeah.
And it's a PennDOT owned and maintained roadway. Now the township plows it, but they don't do anything else. So PennDOT tried to, get LM to fix it. They said no. They came knocking on our door and said, you own this. And I'm like, no. So that's why it sat idle for 3 weeks. So PennDOT just wrapped up this storm pipe repair, and then the electrical company will be back to keep running their pipe down.
Okay.
So hopefully another 2 weeks before they're wrapped up.
Okay. On to summer and fall planning. So at this time, it doesn't appear we'll need to have our summer meeting. Any thoughts on that? So that would be July. So we wouldn't be meeting July 14th. And then the next meeting would be September 8th. September 8th. Wait, when does Labor Day fall?
6.
Okay, so we would have a meeting right after Labor Day.
So.
That's right. And we must have discussed that last year. We came up with our schedule. So, and yeah, so that gives us time to, that gives us plenty of time before movie night. So really, does anyone see a necessity to meet in July?
Just to confirm, you think, so meeting on the 8th is anything with the movie night, which would be a week and a half later,
Would be.
that's enough time, right? Is
That's
that
what I wanted to
confirmation?
discuss.
Yeah.
Because, so what do we have? We have the programming activity that Ryan's looking to do would be in June. The borough is able to assist. The promotion of the movie night would have to start the beginning of September, end of August, which is the same channels that we use for either one, which is the borough promotes in the newsletter. Flyers are put up in bulletin boards. So that would just be something that, we just have to remind borough staff to, over the summer, but otherwise, yeah, I just wanted to put it out there for you guys to decide if there's anything that we would need to address in July.
I don't know anything, you know, it's just,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
if it's anything with food vendors, you know, if it's either they're in or they're out and can be confirmed on email, and
Okay.
if any extra stuff's needed. I mean, bathrooms no, but trash, you know, feels like that could be done on over line or over email.
Okay, great. And any new business to discuss? Okay. Then we can adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor, aye. So the meeting is adjourned at 7:48 PM. And I appreciate everyone coming, and I appreciate your participation and service. And look forward to seeing some of you at movie night on Friday. And take care. All right.
Awesome.